Sorry, I forgot to unmute my mic. Oops. Um, Hold on a second. I don't think my mic's connected. Is it connected? Can people hear me? Hello? Can my own microphone hear me? Can my own microphone hear me? Okay, apparently yes. Okay, apparently yes. Yeah, okay, so I could turn this off. I don't know why audio was not coming out. I don't know if I was just being too quiet or what. I also just realized I haven't put music on, so let's go do that. There we go. If the music is too loud, let me know and I will adjust that while I adjust my headphones. Our fight has started! Woo! And already the site has been crashing. If I go on our fight right now... Okay, it actually is popping up. Which is good. For now. I don't know how long that's going to work, because on my phone earlier it was not working. It is laggy. So, I'm going to start working on my first attack. And I am going to be drawing a character who, I've been wanting to draw for a hot minute. She is so beautiful, so amazing, so fantastic, absolute icon. I hope I can draw this right. Yeah, the moment I found out that the artist was going to be on Art Fight, I was like, I had to draw this character. So, that's who we're going to be drawing first. I'm gonna just draw a little one first. I normally don't sketch on these things, so... Like, the one I use for the thumbnails for a commission I'm working on. I kinda used the attack from last year, but I didn't want people thinking that I was, like, sketching stuff early. I have no idea what I'm doing with this body. Hold on a second. So a lot of my attacks this year for Artfight are probably going to be chibis. And the reason for it is because I want to get better at drawing those. Like, that's like one thing I've always struggled with, is drawing like cute chibi characters. So we're gonna see how that will work this time around. See if I can capture her beauty. I don't know if you guys know who YN is. But if you've seen the videos on TikTok, you know. If you haven't, please go look up YN on TikTok, because the videos are the funniest thing I've seen. But yeah, I'm starting with the drawing of her because I got a couple of like files like this saved where it's just like a canvas and a bunch of character refs because I knew the site was just gonna be like crap when it starts, and at the moment it still isn't, but soon. Soon. Because it usually is. Give her little chibi legs and a little chibi body. Anyway, how's everybody else's art fighting going? I'm trying to give her like a cute little pose. Hey yo, hi. Are you ready for some art fight stuff? I sure am. That's what we're doing now. These arms are a little too big for a chibi. Hell yeah, that's what I'm about. Draw all the things. That's what I like with like art streams, is I like watching other people draw while I'm drawing. It's just really fun. It's like one thing if you're like watching a let's play or like something like a TV show, but like I don't know. There's just like a really fun vibe of like drawing while other people are drawing. That's why I enjoy art streams so much. But like talking helps, I guess. Also, let me know if at any point the music gets too loud. I always keep forgetting how like the right volume for me to set it at is, and so I never really know if it's like too loud, you guys can't hear me, or if it's too quiet. But like, you know, just something to fill the silence when I'm not talking a lot. Yeah, I mean, like, I like seeing people's art processes too. Like, you also, like, I think with art streams what's fun too is you can learn stuff that, like, other people, do that you probably didn't know how to do. And, like, that's another reason why I find them fun. I'm, like, drawing her really small. That's fine. She's... She's beautiful and amazing. So, I mean, I guess it's fine. I fucking love this character. So just that, like, little bit. There you go, I like that better. Now she needs her gigantinormous eyes. And they gotta have like the lashes. I forgot that they have like a bunch of like anime lashes. It's usually a lot lower than that. How do I do her nose? What kind of nose does she have? She's got like she's got like this stereotypical anime nose. I don't know how to. I'm trying to figure out how to translate that to my style. Like a little, that's the thing with like the anime noses, is like it doesn't look like noses to me. I give her like a little button nose. That's cute. And I know she's got like a tiny little mouth that's like that's, there we go, there she is. She's beautiful. I think I just accidentally spit it on myself. Lion! There she is! Let's hide that for a second. Thank you! I'm drawing an internet sensation right now. You know, everybody's favorite Attack on Titan character. We all love her. And here we go. I'm just giggling over this. Yep. I mean, like, look at her face. Can you not fall in love with a face like that? No, honestly, I think what the funnier part about the creator of Lions like art is when they make these videos with her, and then okay, I can't do that with the eye, but they make these videos with her, and then they'll like take like either a character or a scene, and they'll like put like all of like the art budget into like one thing in it. And every time they come out with a video like that, it gets me every time because I just think it's really funny. Though, of course, none of those frames like match the beauty that is YN, everybody's favorite Attack on Titan character. Yeah, I mean, part of me was also debating of like, I thought it would be really funny if I drew NY. The only issue is I don't have clay, and I feel like it would be like a huge disservice to like try to make NY anything but like in clay. Like honestly though, all jokes aside, I do think that the person who has made like YN is like super creative with it in like the funniest way possible. Like that's the kind of shit posting I could get behind. Ooh, oops. Okay. I have to get her head perfect. I I can't capture a lion's beauty. I probably won't be posting these until later. I mean, I'll see like after stream, depending on how many I get done, which ones I'll post. But for the moment, yeah. I'm also gonna be doing these a bit out of order because I have a couple saved for like my friends who I'm attacking with. And I don't want to stream those ones because I want them to be surprised. So, unfortunately, I'm not going to be streaming any with my friends, just ones with like artists who I'm like, I want to attack you this year for some reason or another. I had to like pause for a second and be like, did I give her too many fingers? Like I want to make her look like a cutesy anime character, but I also like it's very hard to get over the like fact that she looks a little bit Lovecraftian. I was just going for like a little cutesy pose. Like here's the thing, is like I wasn't referencing something. I was just going for like something kind of cutesy, kind of a little bit like nya, but like not like so nya. And then and like as I was sketching, I was just like thinking like, you know what? All things considering, even if the pose isn't like perfect, does it have to be? Because after all, YN is perfect, so. I am going to adjust the arms. This is my like one of the reasons why I like vector layers so much is I do this little lazy trick where I just like adjust the line art to the side when I need to. Oops. Okay, we're gonna have to redo that finger. That's fine. Yeah. Oh no, her hands are failing me. I also wanted to start off with YN because she's an easier character to draw, and so I could like this is also slightly like a little bit of a warm up compared to like some of the other ones I got going on. Who I think I know which one I'm going to be. Sorry, so the next characters who I'm going to be drawing, the creator literally today, I'm in her Patreon, and she just uploaded a video for patrons about like some of the characters who I'm going to be drawing for my next attack. and she said something in it that makes me giggle now because I had like what I wanted to draw for this attack planned for a while now, just because I really like one of the characters of the two that I'm going to be drawing, and she said something in it, and I'm like, I want to make a joke, but I'm not going to make a joke about something that isn't public yet, so I'm refraining from I'm keeping it to myself. But just know I have a joke prepared when this video does come out. Oops. And then we'll connect that. For some reason, I thought what was playing was part of Epic. I've been listening to that a lot lately. I think I started listening to it after my last stream. A lot of stuff has happened since my last stream. Wait, ooh, I can make this a little bigger. Also, nice thing with vector lines is that they adjust with how big you make them because of math, and because they're using math to do that. Whoa, did not want that. Because they're using math to do that, if you make your canvas bigger, then, or not your canvas bigger, your line art bigger, it's not going to get all pixelated and gross. It's super cool. Pulls up remix of Legend of Zelda soundtrack. Is this Epic the musical? This is Epic the musical to me. Yeah, I've been listening to that a lot recently just because people don't lie. Epic the musical is very Blurbos coded. So many of those songs fit a bunch, like a good handful of my characters. Funny enough, not a lot of them for In Harmony, but mostly for another thing I'm working on. I have like one song in there, in my In Harmony playlist that is from the Epic soundtrack that is so coded specifically to two of my characters for one specific moment. Well, actually I have two songs that are like that. Two songs where that is like so coded to two different characters, and I can't talk about this. I can't talk about why. One of them I could be a bit more open about. Like My Goodbye, or I think that was called, or Final Good. I think it was called My Goodbye. That one is very Micah coded. I can't say who Athena would be, but Micah absolutely would be Odysseus in that song. And I cannot say why. The other one, I am not saying which song or which characters. I am keeping that shit to myself because that's that is like one of those things when you're writing an original story where it's like there's some spoilers I don't mind giving, all things considering, but there is some stuff that is staying under lock and key, and you guys are not allowed to see it until I am ready to share it. It is awesome. But yeah, no, like my last couple months has just been like me picking a random not last couple months, last couple days have been just me picking a random Epic song, being like, you're my favorite one right now, listening to that a lot, and then picking a new one and rinse and repeat. It's probably gonna be like that for like a hot minute. At least until I get bored listening to the soundtrack. Or I like find like a new soundtrack that I'm like, you're now Blurbo coded. Come here. There we go. I need this under the line art. This is how I usually have my rough sheet stuff set up, because I want to be able to look at the characters while I'm sketching. So, yeah. I think she's a little, because this is at night. Yeah, that's about right. I want to make her cheeks a little pink. There you go. She gets a little bit of blushies. And then I think her mouth was like gray on the inside. But she had like a weird pink tongue. It's like that. That looks about right. Look at her, she's beauty, she's grace. I gotta make those peepers beautifully rendered. Maybe not pupils that big though. There we go. Give her some of the sparklies. There we go. And now we need those eye shinies. Yay! She's beautiful. Thank you! I like drawing sparkly eyes. Let's get a nice shading color in here. Ah shit, I meant to turn my fucking time lapse on and I didn't. Gosh darn it. I gotta remember to do that. Oh wait, there we go. That'll be easier for me to see. I gotta shake these hands. Easiest character I have ever had to draw for art fight. Let me tell you guys that. I hope that she appreciates it and that I've drawn her as beautifully as she could be. My dog just like is sleeping on my bed and she just put herself in like the most awkward looking position. Like she looks incredibly comfy. But she's also kind of like sleeping where she's got like her rear. She's long for like a dog. She's like a corgi mix, so she's long. And she's like sleeping on a pile of blankets, but she's got like her rear end on like the top of it and like her bottom end on the bottom of it. So she's kind of got like her butt in the air. And she looks comfy, but it does not look like a comfy position. And then, there we go. This does not take that long. Lion! God, I am not gonna try and mimic that voice though. That voice, like, I'm already low-key feeling like that I'm going to have a sore voice by the end of this stream. I do not want to put that on myself. Go with light purple. Give it some of that. I've been like really into doing this. I tried because I've seen other artists like, you know, do these like kind of like highlights under the shadows, and I was like testing out how I like it with the those Taz cheapies I did back when I did my Adventure Zone video, and I'm actually been like really digging it. So I've just been like messing with it. Just to see like how I like it, how I like to do it. Like whether or not I like, do I like a lot of it? Do I like just a little bit of it? Do I want to be like sparing, or do I like it like kind of how it makes everything look low-key, a little shiny? So I don't know. I'm gonna see how I feel. Also test it with other colors, because I think in my Taz video I did like a cyan, which came out really nice, but I'm gonna try purple for this. It's already looking nice. Yeah, I like that. It's not too much. I might bump it up a little bit. There we go. That's better. Now I need to give her highlights. God, I miss original Zelda. I used to play Ocarina of Time a lot when I was a kid. Like, that would be a game that me and my brother would rent a lot. at this like game and DVD store that was where my grandparents used to live. And then that place closed, and we went to go, like, my grandma went to go buy some like any movies that we wanted before they like completely closed down. And like we had a Nintendo 64, and they had a lot of Nintendo 64 games that they still had left, and one of them was like that Ocarina of Time game we would rent all the time, so we got that. And now we don't have a Nintendo 64 anymore. But I did play it. And when I was a kid, that game freaked me out. I ended up watching somebody do a Let's Play of it later, when I got older. So, like, I already know how that game ends. Sipping my tea. I got myself an Arizona tea because I had to go to the store today. Oh, I want to make this an aglo. Making her very shiny. There's like one other thing I want to try when I'm doing these, just to see how I like it. I don't know if I'm going to stick with it. I might end up deleting it, but there's this other thing that I see where what people will do is they will should I give her a shiny head? I'm gonna give her a shiny head. I think it looks cute. There's this other thing I see where people would put like a darker outline around their like shadows in some areas, and I want to like, and like I always think it looks cool, but I've never like tried it myself. So I want to try that for this. Like, cause I don't want to. My art fight last year was so flippin' busy, which is like if for somebody who does art fight a lot, I think it's fun when like I'm getting like so many attacks, because then I could do a lot of revenges. But it didn't really leave me a lot of time to attack last year, and I was getting so many revenges that like near the end of it that like I felt like a lot of my attacks were just kind of like lazy in a way I don't really like. So I was like thinking about it, and I was like, okay, well, if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna practice something that I want to get better at drawing at, and that thing is chibis. So I'm gonna be doing a lot of chibis for art fight this year. For attacks. There's some that are not. Like I have like this like comic that is a pseudo planned mass attack. Oh no, the shadow's blue, so I want to make this, make it purple. Okay, so I have this it's kind of a mass attack, but it's only a mass attack because it is a attack for somebody I'm doing, who is like a friend of mine. And not only that, but but I needed background characters, so I was like, oh, I'll make this kind of like a mass attack, but it's specifically going to be like focusing on one character, because like, I mean, I could draw a bunch of characters for theirs, but without spoiling it for my friend, who I don't know might be in the stream right now. I don't think so, because I know he has work today. But if he decided to check this later, I think at this point though, if I say that, he's gonna know exactly who he is. Okay, it's for my best friend. We just joined a tabletop RPG game with another friend of ours is running, and I had an idea for like a little like one-page comic, but part of it involves his character being at a show my character is performing at. Because I kind of want to do like a little intro comic that's just like a little blurb thing with both of our characters. And there's like, my character is a pop star performer named Alkai. Alkai's also on Art Fight, but I wanted to do that this little comic about like the beginning of like the game that we're in, and I was like, okay, who are going to be like the characters in the audience for the show? Because my character ends up getting murdered after the performance where they first meet each other, and I was gonna do like a little intro comic to that. And so I'm like, oh, I'll just make the background characters like other people's OCs. So it's like that's why I say pseudo mass attack, because it's not like a lot of mass attacks that you see on Art Fight, but I combed through like my bookmarks and I looked specifically for like characters I bookmark where like the people whose characters I'm gonna be drawing for it are fine with like some of the stuff that will be in this comic, because there's going it's not a very pretty panel I have planned, but like, you know, people got like permissions for how they want to draw their characters, and I don't want to include people's characters if they're uncomfortable with like blood and stuff. So I have a couple planned. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be sweet. Very excited for it. I don't know how much I like that. Maybe if I make it a lighter color. There we go. That looks better. A little lighter. There we go. And that is our first one. And it took us less than an hour to draw Miss Beauty and Grace over here. We'll see if I can put her up on Art Fight. Okay, let's see. So far, so good. They still have the one from, they still have all the ones for our, the like banners and stuff for the previous ones. Okay, let me get to my bookmarks. I think I could get this up. while that's loading, depending on how long that's gonna load. Here's my next one. This is Felix, and this is Laz. I love Laz. They are my absolute favorite. Not one of my absolute favorite characters of Star's characters, because I also really like Sage. I think I might like Laz a little more than Sage, but I adore them both. If you don't know who Star is, I'm talking about the Starfish Face, and she is writing a novel, and these two are characters in said novel, and I love them both. They are so good. They are so cute. The thing loaded, so now I have my first attack up of this beautiful creature. Just absolutely gorgeous. Okay. Yeah, now that that's out of the way, I'm gonna go back to what I'm working on. Okay, yeah, so anyway, I really like Laz. I think Laz is so cool, and I really liked them when Star was first posting about them for the like D&D campaign that they're in with her other character Lapis. I really enjoy this character. I love gender freaks, and then they started doing stuff with their novel, and I was like, like I said, I'm on their Patreon, and I love seeing the like concept stuff they got from their like sketchbook. Which, yeah, sketchbook stuff here. This is on their this is from their art fight. All this is from their art fight. But like seeing like their concept stuff for that with this character and with some of their other characters, and I'm like, yes, I adore this. I love this so much. But no, I love them. They are so cute, and I have been so excited to draw them since for like about over a month now. And like, yeah, I could draw fan art, and that's fine and all. I have so much shit going on. All the fan art I draw these days, with the exception of like my Magnus Archives comic, is like for what's it called? Like for my podcast videos. That is like usually the like either that or like sketchbook doodles. And I do have like some cast off sketchbook doodles, but I don't sketchbook other people's characters so often. I just got too much on my plate. So I was like, I am going to draw them for our fight. But for a while, Felix was the only one who was on our fight. And I was like, oh, well, I mean, as long as like at least one of them is on our fight, I can still count it as like an attack, I guess. I just want an excuse to draw these two. And then I just like, I went on her Star server, and I was like, would you put Laz on our fight if you wanted to? And Star's not like super active on our fight. I just really wanted to draw her. Use the promise of art fight to get references for a character I want to draw. But yeah, that's another reason why I like art fight, is because it gives me an excuse to put time aside for me to like draw characters I really want to draw, who are not mine. Because art fight's my playtime. I get to play during art fight. It's so much fun. gonna scoot you over here, you two. Now to get Felix's hair to, like, work. Might make her head a little bigger. I want to make Felix's hair a bit more floofy, because her hair is like super floofy. I love Felix's design, but like I also like if her design is so detailed. Like I love characters with like super pretty detailed designs. The reason my characters all have like mostly simple designs is because I am an animator and I also do comics, and if I had to design a very complicated character who had to show up constantly in the story, I would lose my marbles. So this one's definitely gonna take me a lot longer to do than the last one did. One, because this has two characters, but two of these guys are a lot more complicated to draw than YN was. Hi! How you doing? We are working on our fight attacks, and I am drawing two characters for this one. Hey! Let's start attacks together! Yeah, I went ahead. The site's actually functioning, like, ridiculously well for how it usually does at the start of our fight, which is kind of scary, to be honest, but it's whatever. You know, not that should be considered a complaint or anything, because site functioning means I get to look at stuff, but like I went through all of this saving and yeah, hell yeah. I went through all this like saving like files and like setting up canvases, being like, okay, so I know how our fight functions, so I need to prepare and make sure that my my thing is good. And then I just like, I went on the site and I was literally able to just post my first attack, and I'm like, okay, that normally doesn't happen. I also need to make your head a little bigger. God, I love this character. Lass is so cool, guys. This isn't my OC. This is somebody else's OC, but they're so cool. Yeah, it's like, it's usually the running joke is just like, oh yeah, first day of art fight, nothing is working, ha ha ha. And then now it's like, oh, you're not supposed to do that. Yeah, it was running pretty good last year. Like there wasn't that much like crashing or anything. I think the only time the site really crashed at all so far was like the day they announced Teams and they like did a maintenance break. Yeah. Yeah, I just finished the YN one, so that one is now officially up on our fight. I think I do want to draw them with the outfit that she drew them in here. I don't know if she updated Felix's design to be different, so I'm just gonna use the one from this image. But yeah, no, I'm so happy our fight's back. Our fight saved me. Our fight saved me. This has not been a great years, guys. I was applying for jobs a lot yesterday, in between like getting a bunch of other stuff done, and it's not fun, guys. It is not fun. It has been miserable. It is so miserable out there right now. But, I mean, it's not like I'm not employed or anything. I got a job. I'm just not at it today or yesterday. Now I need to go back to Felix, and I need to give her the rest of her outfit. I grabbed like a bunch of different ones. There's some for friends that I have that I'm not going to be streaming with. There's like that one that I was talking about earlier, the comic one. I actually do have one from somebody who I found on TikTok that looked really fun that I want to do, where they're one of their like quote-unquote characters. I mean, there is this character. Okay, how do I explain this? They have two profiles for one character. One is like a regular like character profile. However, the other one is specifically like a panel of a comic. And their idea was that is like writing a comic together through the course of the month. And so it is like one of the characters they've already posted about, but is like the first panel of this like hypothetical comic. And that idea looked really fun. So what I did is I also saved that. And so, depending, because I have another couple one I want to do. But all things depending, that might be one I work on stream today. I don't know yet. But we shall see. Let's see. She's got this big old stone and a lot of other necklaces and stuff. Very like, she's got like a very Ren Fair fit. Like she looks like somebody who goes all out in for like cosplay for Ren Fair. Yeah, it's like really cool. I see some really cool ideas for stuff people have are like, this is what I want to do for Art Fight this year, and I think it's like awesome that like a lot of people are like super into the idea of doing things like that. Like I kind of wish that I thought of doing something like that, but like considering my workload and my work process, unless I was like very well prepared in advance, then I don't think that would have worked out for me. But I do not have any issues partaking in something else somebody else has planned. Like I think for just this art, and like also like I don't really do revenge chains with a lot of people, really just my friends. But I mean, like if I had planned something out, then I would do it. I would do that. I do want to do a revenge chain with this person if I do get around to doing the comic panel. And now for arguably probably what's going to be my least favorite thing to draw with this is the skirt. It's a cute skirt, so many frills. I am going to erase her legs all the way up to her feet. And we're just gonna give her... Oop, that thunderstorm that was promised is fully here. And then she had like sandals on, right? Yeah, I could see them. And then her tail is gonna swoop up. And there's her tail. And then she's mostly done. Still gotta figure out her hair. And her arms. And now to finish up this one. Where do I put them? They will go right here. Because then I can actually see their torso, the sketch for their torso here. And then have like full image of their arms. They got like muscles and shit. It's like thunderstorming like crazy outside and there's people just walking around. So yeah, if the stream cuts out, it's because there's a thunderstorm. So has there been anything else new going on? Still working on my own little fantasy bullshit thing. For people who don't know, the thing that like I've made like a bunch of videos like kind of hinting at it, but I'm working on a little bit of a fantasy story that is not really gonna be a thing with a big plot. Like, I'm not planning on turning this thing into like a comic or in a show or anything anytime soon. Currently, all it exists to do is to be a little sandbox that I play in and come up with my own little scenarios and my own little jokes and my own little things. And I share what I want with people, and I can rant about it, and all sorts of stuff. It's like my little toy I get to play with, and I love it so much. I am having so much fun with it. I do want to share it though, because I do want to like yap about the lore more, because it's so it's a I guess I could do it a little bit here, but I want something that's like a bit more cohesive and not something that I'm like having to like remember all the like information at the top of my head. But it is a fantasy world, at a very like magical world where like okay, magic wise, it's pretty much like magic is based off of intention, so it's kind of like your ability to do spells and stuff is very dependent on how you want to perform those spells. I'm still kind of working a bit on it, but like basically magic is very specialized, right? And like with like learning a skill, you could be either really bad at it or you could be really good at it. It's just really like based off of your own bullshit. And hold on, Laz, I need to see your hands. What do your hands look like? You got like these like lovey things going on. Okay, well, something kind of like this. There we go. Drew them. I kind of want to adjust their head sizes a little bit more though. So anyway, with my Magic World bullshit. And this world is also pseudo-religious. Kind of, not, kind of, sort of, not in a like typical religious way, but essentially like there are gods in this world, but not really. How do I explain it? So there are these 18 gods, and both of them have split up into 2 groups of 9 each, and both of these groups had like taken a concept, and different societies function based off of these like concepts as like base for their like own personal beliefs. So like not every town functions the same. There's not really like a huge like expanding kingdom, but rather like everything is ruled under like common belief of one thing. So one group, they are called the Chords, and they are gods who specifically are into the concept of creation. They think that everything exists to output something, and they think that it's kind of like you know, like knowledge, creativity, things like that, innovation. They're very into that, and they're very into just like making something that people can be proud of because you made it. Whereas the other group of 9 gods, they call themselves the Cardinals, and they're very into the concept of order, and like self-reliance and like self-ability. So less of like what you can put out into the world and more of just like more of just like kind of like personal like ability, if that makes sense. Kind of like the difference between like a tech guy and somebody who makes like chairs for a living, I guess would be the like best equivalent I could give. And so a lot of people who follow the courts tend to be focused as like magical innovators, while a lot of people who are really into the concept of like the order and the cardinals, they tend to be not entirely not magical. Like, I mean, they still use magic, but they tend to focus more so on building strength and manifesting like your own ability through like sheer will and like sheer like skill. And essentially this world is kind of in a continuing apocalypse, because what had happened one day is that all of the gods have gotten this mysterious thing that they call a blight, and they're not sure where it came from. They're not sure how it spreaded or how they got it, but the one thing that kind of like became certain for all of them is that like whatever like divine thing that has kept them mortal and like all powerful was quickly being eaten away by like whatever this blight is. And both groups ended up reacting differently to it. So the courts, they decided that they needed to essentially they kind of like have this like weird vanity thing kind of going on, and the cardinals also, but like the way they like express it is like a bit different. For the courts, they're kind of like, we are fine if we have to destroy ourselves in order to continue to exist, then we're going to do that. So what they started to do is they started to actually tear themselves apart and forcibly giving like things and people and animals these like pieces of themselves. But they're like, mortal things are not supposed to be divine, and so it ends up transforming people in like horrible ways. And they just simply don't care. And like at like the point where like a lot of the characters who are writing stories happen, they've kind of simply like gone mad from the fact that they are like literally losing bits of themselves every single day from like a combination of like this blight that they caught, which by the way, doesn't matter, they get rid of pieces of themselves, because you know what fills in those pieces? That blight. And the fact that they're like giving themselves away to mortal people who are like actively dying, and they're like at a point where they're just like not even rationally thinking about the consequences of their actions. Meanwhile, the cardinals, seeing what had happened to the courts, went, that's a bad idea, and they locked themselves underground. And nobody really knows what's going on down there, but stuff is coming out of the ground, and it's not very friendly, and it's very similar to like what happened to the courts. So take that as you will. And so all my little characters live in this world, and it has been so fun to mess with. And like figuring out how like society like functions and like things like that. Kind of curious to see. The site is still up. It is still functioning. Yay! Okay, time to do the line art on this.
But yeah, so like, I've only came up with like 2 major locations so far. One that's like, so like people who. Thank you. One thing that people where was I going with this? Oh yeah, so people who tend to follow the courts are like referred to as courtians, while the people who follow the cardinals are typically called orderlies. Um, so I've came up with like 2 locations so far of like where people who follow both live. And like the way that like a lot of society is kind of structured is like one doesn't really hate the other, but certain towns and cities that are filled with orderlies are very uncomfortable with courtians around. More so of the fact that it's like, for a majority of society, like they can recognize that, like, you know, typically like what the courtian gods are doing is not like their fault, but it's also like what's happening is like super destructive. So there's some people who are like rude and unnecessarily like mean about it. I keep forgetting what I'm doing with this. And then so like a lot of like court societies have been like attacked and dismantled, and so some of them are in hiding. And one of the ones that are in hiding is this one in very, very, very important place called Academy de Capo. And it is a music school and a orphanage. And so essentially it teaches people magic, and like there's like a huge magic system I have because not gonna lie, I did want to put my D&D characters in this thing. But it is a magic school, it is an orphanage, and it is also a pseudo town that's not really a town. And this place is incredibly important because there is one character in this world who I'm debating on whether or not I want to make him faceless or not. But there is this character named Tia Forte who was a scholar at the Capo, and they had figured out a like it's very dangerous and risky and doesn't always work, but it has results where it does work, unlike most other like attempts at like quote unquote curing people of divinity. So like people who've been targeted by the courts to receive like shards of themselves. And Tia has been like the only person who kinda like can cure this. And the Capo is like basically like their place where they touch base. That's the word I was looking for. And there's like a bunch of other characters who have like touches with divinity that have they've essentially like the way that Tia has been going about with it, and some of the other people who are in on it, because I have 2 other characters who are in on it. I put my Elden Ring OC Horus into this world, and so Horus is one of those people, and then another person is this character of mine named Calypso, who is in this world she is an elf, but I also have a way that like tieflings exist in my world, and in my world tieflings are essentially elves, because elves in my world are like really fucked up. That is a whole thing. And Tia is also an elf, but Horus is not an elf. Horus is like a human person. I actually want to have like a different name for like what humans are called in this world, because I have like some really fucked up lore with humans as well. I basically came up, I basically am rewriting like typical fantasy stuff to being like, what if I make it like a little more fucked up and a little more dark fantasy? So I got stuff written for dwarves and for humans and elves, but not for other species quite yet. But like there's some characters who have like become like divine in ways, and essentially the like not so great way that these characters have dealt with like curing somebody of divinity has essentially have been stop the magic from these gods from spreading, and then ditch the person after this like whole traumatizing thing has happened. And so some of these storylines I have with these characters are like either characters who have like either been ditched and are now like looking for answers about what happened to them. There's some characters who have like witnesses to what happened to them, but like because like what the capo has been doing with like divine people hasn't been like really widespread yet. Because for one thing, Tia went missing, and that's like another thing they're doing is they're looking for Tia. It's not like they can like go to like orderly cities and be like, hey, we cured like divinity, so now like as long as we do like these specific certain things, we can like stop like mad rampages from people who have gone mad because of these gods. They haven't figured out a way to cure blight. I have Moriarty. Moriarty's whole thing is that he wants to cure blight. But they figured out how to like stop divinity from spreading. And so a lot of like their whole trouble is like trying to like, you know, convince these people that hey, we actually have a solution for this problem that we got. Because some people don't want to hear it. Oh yeah, it's the one I was looking for. I'm like, I want to do a video about it. I want to do a video about it because then I can like talk about it in a way that makes more sense. I can put my thoughts together, I won't get distracted, things like that. Because right now I am too busy drawing tieflings. and a human person. I do want to do it. I've been like thinking about doing it for like a while now. I just don't have the time. I have other videos I want to get out. Speaking of other videos I want to get out, I need to time-lapse this. There we go. Haha. I'm gonna say this just in case because it is getting dark, because there is a big ol' thunderstorm coming. But yeah, I just need I need to like find the time to do it. I've been doodling around a lot with it, like my favorite characters from the story. Cause like here's the thing with this like world is like I've had the concept of a world that is ending and like people trying to figure out what to do in that situation, like as like a fantasy story as a concept for years. The idea of like mad gods and people getting powers because of these mad gods is a slightly more recent idea that I got last year to add on to the story because I ended up ditching my original idea. My original idea was going to be just like a novel with like 3 characters, and like 2 of them were like my character Tal and Tia, and then another one was a 3rd character named Daniel, who is also going to be in the story, but I haven't figured out what his whole thing is quite yet. I figured out a little bit with it. I'm gonna give him a storyline with Calypso. But because I also want to do more stuff with Calypso. Calypso was a tabletop game character, and she is the only character I've ever played a long game with. Oh, I keep hiding that one. So I am very excited to do that and also get into my elf lore because I've been like gleefully having so much fun with coming up with like magical creature fantasy lore that's like messed up. Like you guys wanna hear about my elf lore? I'm gonna talk about my elf lore. Let me talk my lore about my elves. Okay. So elves. So okay, well dwarves are the same way, but all humanoid creatures end up kind of starting out similar. Like, you know, like skin tones,
skin tones, like regular hair. Like, you know, dwarves are shorter and they're stockier. Elves are like, they got pointy ears, they're more magically proficient, like that. But then when they reach a certain age, things get a little funny. I'm gonna start with humans because humans are the most simple. Humans still relatively are short-lived. They live like, you know, all act like now human, how humans work in like real life. That's how humans work in real life, but with a little bit more, which is every single like species of creature or whatever has like their own way that like magic manifests in them. And for humans, they're actually born with a very small amount of magic. Their bodies are not capable of like harnessing a lot of magic. However, the older they get, the more magic they can like soak into their bodies just naturally, just by existing around like in a world that is entirely magical. So humans are like batteries, right? And when humans learn magic, they tend to learn how to take magic in the like world around them and use it rather than like using the magic that like they naturally like internally like soak up. And the reason for this is because when humans die, they don't die. They come back as ghosts. Stronger humans come back and they can possess their bodies. So that's how basically undead in this world exist. And they can exist in that kind of form that they choose however long they want to after they die, as long as whatever magic they soaked up while they were alive can sustain them. So like humans who are like who died with like tons and tons of magic can theoretically live for like hundreds, maybe even 1,000 years. Whereas humans who didn't do a lot of magic can be around for maybe like an extra like 100-ish years. But it all very much depends on like your environment. So naturally a lot of humans who have died and become ghosts or spirits or walking corpses are Cordians, because a lot of Cordians steal more magic stuff than orderlies do. Dwarves, on the other hand, they have, both dwarves and elves have something called like a magic like generator, and I say generator in quotes. I haven't come up with a specific term for it, but dwarves' magical quote-unquote generator, it takes up magic from like around it, and dwarves can live with for a really long time because of them like taking magic around it and just kind of like funneling it through themselves, and it gets expunged because it can't, unlike humans, dwarves and elves can't store their magic. That magic has to go somewhere. And for dwarves, what ends up happening is at a certain age, they start to turn to stone. They basically become like golems, like rock people. And they start to slow down, and that generator, that like internal generator, is unable to soak up as much magic the more like entombed in itself that like dwarves become, until like really old dwarves eventually turn into statues, and they go into like a permanent meditative state that is like kind of like pre-death. So they essentially go to sleep and are asleep for a very long time before they finally die. But even for years before their death, they're just kind of like statues. And that's because like that like internal generator can't funnel out external magic to keep a dwarf going. So once that thing finally has no fuel, that's when the dwarf dies. And then elves, however, have the opposite problem, where their internal generator is constantly creating its own magic. And so elves are, I don't know if you can hear the thunder outside, it's really loud and it's not stopping. Elves cannot stop
they're magical generators, and like I said, I do not have another term for this, so I'm calling it a generator for now. That they can't really stop their generators from going, and it's unrealistic for them to constantly be using magic all the time. So that magic needs to get put out somewhere. It has to have it has to be used for something, and it can't be unlike with humans who could just naturally sponge it up or just for being present in it. Elves can't just naturally expunge it. So it's got to be output somewhere. And what ends up happening is when they reach their 50s, 60s, in elf years, they start changing, and the physical signs of their magic output being a lot is very subtle at first. So elves on the younger side, the first thing that tends to form is that they get pointy teeth. They just get little pointy canines, kind of a bit like a vampire. Then they start growing horns. Their skin changes color. But the thing with elf horns is their horns do not have to grow on their head. So one of the dangerous parts about being an elf is, depending on how your horns are growing, it could be very dangerous because you could become super immobile. One of the characters I stuck into this, Grace, she was an OCMI from high school, and I decided to stick her and her brother into the story. I made Grace an elf just because I thought it fit her and Mercy's original thing for this setting. Yeah, they start becoming tieflings, but they also kind of start becoming omens from Elden Ring. But they can also grow extra tails and wings and things like that. And if they don't take care of themselves well enough, they can basically become immobile and accidentally impale themselves with their own horns. Hence why I'm elves are a little bit more fucked up in this setting than typical elves. And they also grow gigantic. They also grow really big. So they haven't really have any recording of an elf who has died naturally, but they do have a lot of documents of elves who have had died because their horns impaled them, or elves who had died because they got too big, they couldn't, and full of horns and stuff that they just couldn't move, and they ended up collapsing over and eventually dying under their own weight. They have found elves who have essentially have not the way their body parts and their horns have grown on them makes it so they are unable to eat or drink, and so they just essentially starve to death. It's really fucked up to be an elf in this setting. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you think so. I do want to draw more of it because I do have a very old elf character. She is actually the curator for the capo, so she will show up. I like her. I've been coming up with more stuff for her, but I haven't been super happy with my current designs for her quite yet. Most of my art drawing stuff for Ashendo, which is the name of this universe I've been calling it, is Ashendo, but I think each storyline is gonna have its own name. It's gonna be really fun when I get a final design for her, but most of it has been my sketchbook, and also just stuff I would think about while at work, and I'm working on stuff, and I'm I want to do things like this and this and this, and I've just been super indulgent with it because here's a little secret about me: I'm not the biggest fantasy fan. I don't hate fantasy. It just with it's very hard for me to get into a high fantasy setting. Game of Thrones, for example, is a miracle baby for of a piece of media for me to have been invested in, because in a majority of fantasy settings like Game of Thrones, I hate them. I not hate them, I don't really sit and about grr, fantasy setting bad. I mean, they just don't interest me. I like Lord of the Rings as a concept, but I'm not like super into Lord of the Rings. I like Skyrim as a concept, but I just couldn't really get into Skyrim. Like things like that. So like when I was working on Ashendo, I was like, well, let me take everything that I love about fantasy and like the things that I would like to see in fantasy, and let me just like make a story that. And I like post-apocalyptic stories. I love everything that Elden Ring does. And Bloodborne too, because Bloodborne technically is fantasy. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna build on this and make it even more fucked up. And so eventually I'll get to a point. Like, I want to do like short story stuff first. So like, I didn't really post about them online, but like for like most of my semester this year, starting at like the beginning of like the last semester I was at school, I came up with these 2 kid characters, technically 3, but the third one was like living in my head for a bit before like I finally like figured out what I wanted to do with him. And that was they're on my art fight, but it's those 3 kid characters, Casper, Ping, and Seer. And I had come up with Casper and Seer kind of at the same time, and I was like, oh, what do I want to do with these kids? And then I was like, oh, I have this 3rd kid, I'm gonna throw him in here as well. What do I want to do with these? And I came up with this like story for them, and I was like, oh, and I could put it into this world. And that's kind of where everything went bad from there, because like I had like the bare bones of Ashendo figured out at that point, and then like it all went downhill when I came up with these 3 kids, and it got worse. So now my current thing to focus on with Ashendo is Denver and Moriarty, who are like my doomed yaoi. They are so doomed, and it's just been so much fun. I've been having so much fun with it. It's like super nice to focus on like a project that isn't and like I don't really want to call it a project because I don't have anything like specific planned with it. I kind of want to do like a prologue video for like the kids story, and then like on my own time like do little short like stories with it. That thunder is loud. Are you scared? Are you scared? Come here. Come here. Hi. It's okay. Are you okay? Are you okay? Oh, my poor puppy. You're okay. You're okay. Sorry, my dog woke up from the thunder. My old deaf dog. It was yeah, I have a dog who is sleeping on my bed, and it's been like continuously thundering for a hot minute. And now that it's been doing that long enough, she woke up. Hold on, I'm gonna go let her out of my room. If you guys want to know what it's like outside, it's not even 4 o'clock yet, and it is like, it feels like nighttime. That's how bad it is. But yeah, like, I want to do stuff with the kids, and like, I feel like their story would be easier to start because it's the one that involves like the least amount of like nuance. It's like a very good intro story because it's like children found family with like a bunch of little kids who had a bunch of stuff happen to them, and Jesus Christ. Hey, can you guys hear that? It is loud. But yeah, it's like kids, found family, things like that. You can't hear that? Yeah, no, it's thunder. It's thundering super loud. I was just curious if you guys could hear it. I've also been like talking for like a hot minute, so I wouldn't be surprised if like I'm talking too loud for people to hear it. But like I hear it through my headphones and the music. Okay. But yeah, no, so it's like children, found family, and it's like also like a nice little intro to some of it, the bigger stuff. I mentioned the Kappa, but I don't think I mentioned the other city. The other city, which is an orderlies run city, is called Seraphim. And it's not like the one thing I do want to get with like the orders is like the orderlies is that they're not like authoritative. If anything, it's kind of like the way that a Seraphim at least functions is more at like preservation. So they're very like not like super anti like accordion and super anti outsider, but they're also like very easy to like set off in a way where they're because like on one hand they're like, yeah, no, we need to like, you know, preserve what we have left. On the other hand, they're just kind of like, you know, you don't know when like a god is going to come down and turn you mad. So that's just kind of like how they've been functioning lately. But that's like with some of my characters, like Tallahassee and a couple others. I think I'm gonna hold off on like getting her jewelry on. Just not quite yet. Not gonna lie, I talked so much about my own fantasy bullshit that I like completely zoned out while doing the line art for this. So I was just like, I just like realized like how much of like I basically got Laz all done already, and I'm like, whoa, when did that happen? Like, that's crazy. Woo. I spaced them too close together. But yeah, that's been like my little thing that I've been like thinking about. Ooh, that was a loud one. I'm also like right next to a window. Oh, my yard is a little flooded. Usually gets like that when it rains a lot. Hopefully like too many trees and stuff don't fall. I drive through back roads on my way to work, so I want to like not have to like drive around a tree. I mean, if the tree did fall, it probably would have gotten picked up on my like by the time I like leave for work. But yeah, you never know.
Exactly. Whatever you say, Sky. Sounds about right. Okay, you guys had to have heard that one. That one was loud. I saw the flash in my room. I don't have my lights on, by the way. I saw the flash in my room before before they heard it. It's like going with bam, with bam. It's not as raining and windy as much as I would have thought it was. But we've been getting like thunderstorms that are like weather-wise kind of chill. And then like we have also been getting like thunderstorms that are just like too fucking crazy. And you know what? I don't think the sun is I'm gonna keep that, but I think I'm gonna get rid of this because I don't think this is working out. Let me see how she threw the skirt. Okay, hold on a second. I'm gonna try a thing. That is my one slight apprehension that I had when deciding I wanted to draw this character is the skirt. Ooh. Why did my Wacom decide to stop working? Tablet. Okay, well now I can't find the plug to plug it back in. There we go. That was weird. My tablet decided to just randomly stop working. There we go. That was weird. Okay, there we go. This looks so much better. It's already an improvement. I also don't really draw a lot of frilly dresses, so that's probably why I'm struggling a bit. Maybe I just need to have more girl characters with frilly dresses so I can practice drawing my frilly dresses. Really, dresses? Why are you so hard to draw? Why are you so pretty to look at? Okay. What else have I been doing? I haven't really been doing a lot. Mostly just work and art. I'm almost done drawing chapter 3 of In Harmony though. And I am partially through the script for chapter... What is the next chapter? Chapter 4. No, not chapter 4. Sorry, chapter 5. I already finished the script for chapter 4. I'm sketching pages from chapter 4, but chapter 4 will not be starting until like September. I already have a date in mind because I know chapter 3 is going to end in August at the rate the comic is updating, and I'm going, like, my plan is at the moment is that chapter 3 of In Harmony is going to end at the beginning of August. Not the first week of August, but like the second week. And then after that is done, I am going to take a not as long as the hiatus between chapter 2 and chapter 3, but definitely longer than the hiatus between chapter 1 and chapter 2. Just enough to build my buffer, because that's like something I've been trying to do, is rebuild my buffer, since I had lost it when I had lost the buffer I had when school was like being a thing, and I had to prioritize like my assignments over my comic, and I thought I had a big enough of a buffer to, you know, last until I like finally put time back into it again, which I did, but now my buffer is smaller than I want it to be, so I would like for it to be roughly the size it usually is. Like, there was like a time when chapter 2 was updating that I had like a buffer that was like, I think it was like 14 weeks ahead, which is a lot, and I'm not aiming for that again, but I would like around like the 10 weeks ahead mark, and that's mostly just like my own personal preference. I only update once a week. What is with her hand? Why did I draw her hand like that? I can draw hands better than that. Why did I put Laz's thumb all the way up there too? Okay, hold on a second. Let me free hand this hand. Okay. Alright, already off to a great start. Hey kids, don't do what I'm doing. But yeah, no, so I want to rebuild my buffer. I think that it would be great for me, personally, knowing my workflow. I think it would be nice because of, I think it would be nice just because I very much would like my, God, why can I not get words out? Like, my mental abilities. And also just, like, chapter 4 is going to be really funny because there actually might be, like, a couple weeks where I will be posting quite a bit of pages at once. Just for the nature of, like, how some stuff in chapter 4 is working. And I will not elaborate. Also, if you haven't read my webcomic, you should do it. I work very hard on it. It's about college students hunting monsters in the woods, and they're art students also, and they're also really bad at hunting monsters. So, if you like gay people making mistakes, then this should be a comic for you. Are you a gay person in art school right now? You should go read my webcomic. I heard that some people do indeed like it. So they are my kids. And then she's got like a little heart tail. It's so fitting. I think like Felix's story though is that she was actually a tiefling. I know she's also got like that, but like Star made a video about this character before and she was like, yeah, she's not a tiefling, she's a changeling. And she's also got feet. She's got her toes out. I'm not gonna draw her toes. Sorry everyone who's like super into that. I'm not gonna draw her toes. I'm actually gonna, no, don't do that. Move this part down. How do those sandals work though? Okay. Character was super complicated design. Almost done. Hold on a second. Don't think there's anything I missed before I can just go and get rid of the sketch and then figure out the line art from here. Because there's a couple things I do want to adjust on their bodies. Like, I want to make this a bit more shape. Get out of there. Be more shape. Thank you. Woo! More shape. More shape. Let's also fix their legs. And cut off a little bit of her tail. You know what the funny part about this is, like, even once I get, even once I, like, finish editing this line art a bit, we're still not done with the line art. I'm actually going to, like, her hair is really fluffy, but I think I'm going to move it out away from Laz a little bit. But, like, without making tangents. Nope, not the arm, not the hair. There we go. Okay, and now one final detail that really needs to get put in here, which involves me putting this up, and that is I want to grab this yellow, I want to turn this back down, And I want to put some gold jewelry on this lady. Let's see. Put that down a little bit. Let's see. She had like 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, then she has like a couple smaller ones. Yeah. You get one more that's like swoopy like that. And then her bracelets. Oh, so then you go back and give her her rings. It was she had a pinky ring, right? Yeah. And then she also has a second one, I believe. Yeah, on both of her hands. Nailed it. And there we go. And here's another thing. If you're kind of like, okay, well now you're gonna have to like do some extra like line art stuff with it. Just double checking to make sure you got all the jewelry. There's a little cute thing that I enjoy called mask layers, and I can just go and do this. I just gotta be careful not to get the like black layer because then that will show up. Oh wait. There we go. There you go, make it super sparkly, super nice. And I can turn it off whenever I don't want to see it. And there you go. So if you ever want to make shiny jewelry, but you're making your jewelry also your line art, and you don't want to have, you want little shinies like these, but you don't want it on like your line art itself, you can just put it on the mask layer, because then when it's not a mask layer, it looks like that. I know some people do shading like that as well, but I don't really prefer doing it like that. But we're not focusing on shading right now, we're focusing on line art, because if you think we're done with the line art, we are not. I kind of want to do a video about this too, but like going over your line art. I talked a little bit about doing it with my vector tools video, because I always swear on vector tools. But going over your line art and adjusting your line width in areas will actually make your line art look so much nicer than it does. I did click the time lapse for this, did it? I did. Okay. It'll make your line art look so much nicer than you think it is. And actually, speaking of time lapse, I'm gonna save this because if I have to do this line art again, I think I'll die. Okay. Yeah, so going over your line art and adjusting your line width, one will make your line art look more interesting, but two, it also and also what's nice with the thing is look, you can see the shinies expand with it. But anyway, going over your line art again to make it look nice will, one, it'll give your line art more depth, it'll give your art more depth, it will allow you to adjust things as you need to, and it just makes your drawings look a bit more interesting than they probably originally would have if you just kept the line art really thin. I mean, unless it's your style. I think it's also really style dependent, because there's some really thin line art styles that work really good with thin line art. But overall, it just kind of depends. Hold on a second, I forgot Felix's corset. I think it also works differently with thicker line arts. I will want to say my line art might be on the thicker side, especially after I go over it and edit it. But I don't know. It's definitely not the thickest line art I've seen. I don't do heavy black shading. I've tried it a couple times and I enjoy it. I just don't know how much I like it for my own work. But I do enjoy my process with my line art that I do now. Did her, it did not, okay. But yeah, I like kind of just eyeballing it and seeing where I want my line art to be thicker, where I want it to be thinner. Typically smaller details, thinner line art, bigger details, bigger line art, especially on the outside and when things intersect. So for example, Lapis's hair right here on her face, where it hits the rest of their hair over here. And also this here, this, and sometimes I'll adjust it because the line width tool isn't the most perfect, and it's just a slight adjustment. Also how much I thicken it is very dependent. At least at huge thunderstorm quiet it down. It's still really dark out though. But just areas like this. No, look. And then also, ooh, not like that. some of these areas on this dress, for example, and like separating it, like helps separate details as well. Like this this like little like scarf thing that she has on her waist. It separates like parts of the skirt and like different layers from each other. And there we go. But we're still not done with the line art, because now we gotta get to the last process for making our line art great, which is we go over some of these like tight corners and we just like add a little bit more to them. But then you just touch it up. And then the nice thing is, after this, we will officially be ready to start our coloring. I can also like clean up a little bit where this the jewelry pokes out. I still want the jewelry on top though. Nope, not like that. And there we go. And like you can see the difference with like Felix's face versus Lapis's face, where I edited the line art. Like, that's why it's a tedious process, but it's all worth it in the end. This track slaps. Sounds like the storm is moving away, but also it's still really, what's the word? Dark out. Man, I gotta go to work tomorrow. I want to stay home and do our fight. I'm so glad. They did ask me to come in today. I'm really glad I said no because I do not want to be driving through this right now. It looks gross out there, and I cannot imagine what it looks like closer to my job. Okay. Ooh, my neck. Stretch break. You hear me, everybody? Get up and stretch.
Stretch your bones, stretch your muscles, stretch your neck, stretch your back. Get some water. Hydrate or dehydrate. When you are sitting down for long periods of time doing a lot of like same motions over and over and over again. You know, don't. I still even think it's funny how I only got like one tech token so far today. Like, oh my gosh. Okie dokie. And my little stretch break. I went and I checked our fight really quick. Wee Piss, the person who made YN, did see it and they liked it, so yay! That's good. And then, yeah. I have another one I'm gonna start after this one. I don't know if I am going to be able to finish it on stream, but because it's another couple one, it is with another set of characters who I've been wanting to draw for a hot minute, but like with these two characters, I designate my drawing people's OCs who I really want to draw time to art fight, because at least I can make a game of it and help my team win. Well, okay, that's not completely true, because I do want to, when I have what I really want to animate, is I do want to animate something with Les, but I have not started on it yet, because there's a lot of little things I really want to animate, and I just haven't had the motivation to like actually start any of them. I'm too busy working on an animatic. Ooh, hey, you guys want to see my animatic I'm working on? I'm working on an animatic. It's using music from Epic, but I'm not drawing characters from Epic. Would you guys like to see my animatic? I'm doing a Shendo animatic, specifically with my character Denver and my other character Moriarty, and then Casper's also there. Because a lot of here's a fun fact: a lot of my like epic songs that I have on my Shendo playlist are specifically for Denver and for Moriarty. So I've been crunching away on that whenever I feel like it.
But yeah, no, it's a Shindo animatic with those two. And so like, if you guys want to see it, I could play the little snippet of it I have done so far. But only if you guys want to. Okay, well I had one person say do it, so that's all the motivation I need. Let me just pull it up. I don't have a ton of it left. Sorry, other way around. I don't have a ton of it done. So we will show what I will just show currently like what is worked on. You guys ready? You guys ready? Okay. I'm gonna zoom in. I'm gonna zoom it in enough that I can like. Why did I do that? Oops. There we go. No, that's not. There we go. As full screen as I can get it. Here we go. Here it is.
Scylla has a cost.
And then that's all I got done. That is all I got done. But I am excited to get more because it's going to be really fun. But yeah, those are my two kids, Moriarty and Denver. If you follow me on TikTok and possibly Tumblr, you probably have seen Denver before, because Denver used to actually be a Denver used to actually be a Magnus Archives OC. They were a avatar of the Spiral, and when like I still have some TMA stuff I'm gonna do with them, not a lot, but like I do have something. I'm just not gonna say what it is. But when I started like being less into TMA and like not drawing my TMA OCs as much, like my thing with my fan OCs is I do want to still use them for something, but it's gotta be like something that fits them, right? So for example, for years and years and years and years, I have not been drawing a lot of Fallout stuff, but I have a lot of Fallout OCs. And a couple of them I have written into other things, but most of them have not been rewritten into other things yet, because I haven't quite found like a story or a universe that fits them, the character. And I don't really just want to stick them willy-nilly into things, because I find that if I do that, then they typically don't get used a lot because I have no idea what to do with them. So I tend to just like kind of put them on the wayside. I always keep their like original stories from when they were like fan OCs, but I just like keep them around and like see what fits. And Denver is like was kind of the same way for a while. And then my other OC Cecilia was not. Like the moment that I had like the idea to like where to put Margot, who was my Bloodborne OC, into something, I like immediately had the idea of like doing the exact same thing I did with Margot with Cecilia, because it fits her so well, and they're both besties now. Outside of like not quite somewhere else where that's also another thing Cecilia is doing at the moment, but Denver was like kind of like on the back burner for a while, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do with them. And so this is like kind of where Moriarty came in. So Denver's story and like the Magnus Archives like universe is that they were from Chicago. As a child, they had like a thing with the lonely, and they were picked on a lot as a kid, but like this like incident that happened with them with the lonely kind of made them like famous with their classmates, because it was like essentially everybody thought that Denver was like kidnapped for a couple weeks, but Denver was just lost in the lonely. And so Denver kind of like craved attention like that because they became like super terrified of like being alone again. And during their like whole like searching for attention, they got really into like magic. Like magic tricks, like magician magic, not like supernatural kind of magic stuff. And they would like read up on like different things, and they would like learn new tricks, and they were pretty good at it. They were very like flashy and showy. Basically how I describe Denver is Denver's like a huge loser who loves audience attention. And they're actually pretty good at keeping people's like attention on them. So it's not like they're like kind of like a loser who's good at what they're doing. And Denver comes across this lightener that was a lonely themed lightener, and essentially they read like a passage from the book, and when they stopped reading it, they realized they lost like almost like a year of their life just like sitting there reading like a couple sentences of a paragraph. And they realized that they could essentially use this as like part of their magic trick. They could be on stage and they could just like literally disappear on stage because nobody can like perceive them while they are reading this book. Time just like quickens up around them. So yeah, they ended up incorporating that into their magic tricks, but then they started getting more into like the weird like supernatural stuff with this book and like what this book involves with. They got into the fears and they learned about the spiral, and they were like, oh, I would rather serve this than like the thing that like affected me when I was a child. And so they did, not quite to the point where they were an avatar, but they were definitely a follower of the spiral for a long time. And then they eventually died and they become an avatar. And like a lot of like Denver's story is just like Denver was always like written as like a character who's very easy to bully, who kind of deserved it. And so rewriting him into a new story was a little bit hard because I was like, oh, I really want Denver to like retain some of like their like asshole-ish like snarky nature. Like I didn't want Denver to be like a goody two shows. Like they're like a bit of a jerk, even if they're not like, even if they don't end up being like a complete like villain anymore. So I didn't really do anything with them. And then what happened one day was I was just like thinking around on stuff. I forgot specifically what it was, but then like Moriarty, my mushroom guy that was in that video, popped into my head, and I was like, ooh, I gotta do something with this character. I gotta do something with him. What's his deal? Like, what does he do? And I was like thinking about it. I was like, what's his deal? What's his past? How did he become like this? Like, this is an interesting guy. What does he do? And I started coming up with bits and pieces of it. And it was all going good and dandy, but then I was like, okay, well now how does he fit into like the rest of the world? Other than like his goals. And I kind of thought about it, and I was like, well, what if he's got like somebody who's like doing stuff for him? And my mind, I kid you not, my mind immediately went to, oh, what if it was Denver? Because Denver is so bullyable. And what if Denver was just being bullied by a mushroom? And I like worked a little, and I like I messed around with a little bit of it, and I was like, yeah, no, I enjoy this. Denver is very bullyable by a mushroom. But then I was like also thinking more about it, and I was like, well, why would Denver in this setting work with this mushroom? Because I was like coming up with like, you know, how does Denver help out Moriarty? How does like, why? I was like, what's the why? Because if Moriarty is just letting Denver run around and do whatever, Denver could easily like just have like told a bunch of people like, oh yeah, there's this like mushroom hive mind living in who knows where that is like threatening me, and I know some all-powerful magic users who could help me take him down. So it's like, why doesn't Denver tell anybody other than like fear? But that doesn't really like, you know, Denver could just run away. So it's like, what makes Denver stick around? other than just like not knowing what to do with himself. And then I was like, I sat there and I was like, what if it's doomed Yaoi? And so yeah, no, I went, I was like, oh, what if like Denver was in a relationship? Because like when Denver was a TMA OC, I didn't really ship Denver with anybody. I was like dancing around like because I'm not like a huge shipping person. I was like kind of like dancing around like what like Denver's sexuality would be. Would I like you know, crack ship them with a TMA character? I did like that one silly video without audio of like Clint McElroy as like Merle Highchurch, where like Merle Highchurch is taking a woman on like a really bad date, but I did that with Denver and Georgie. But like I never like saw it as like Denver actually going on a date with Georgie. I was just kind of like, this audio fits Denver so well, I need to use it. And I was like, who would like, which character should Denver take on a date? And I picked Georgie because she goes on bad dates with dudes in the Magnus Archives canonically. So that's why that video was a thing. But I was like, oh, okay, so maybe they were in a relationship. And then that's like where everything with like Moriarty and Artie and all the other stuff that I had planned with them like came to from that. It was like this huge like wave of just like, oh yeah, this happened and then this happened. And then I had like within like, this literally happened within a week. I just had like a huge just like trove of like stuff with just these two characters. And I was like, oh no. And like that was like over a month ago, and like maybe like a month and a half ago, and I'm like still like super really into writing stuff for these two characters. I'm like so happy with so happy with my stuff that I've come up with these guys. It's tragic, it's gay, it's everything. And it's fantasy. And I did finish with the line art. I just realized that was still up. Woo, let's save this before I lose my mind. So now we are on the next part. We are coloring. I'll be changing the size of this canvas anyway, so... Oh, whoops. Hold on. There we go. Now, give me that hair. Then... Then... Yay! Less! I think I'm gonna take some of the star color that Star does have in that drawing. And I'm just gonna airbrush it a little bit in some areas. So that way it gives it some, like, depth. Like, that's nice. And then, I don't know what colors Star plans on using for this outfit that I did draw last in, so I am going to eyeball it based off of my thoughts on this one. I think Laz does also have freckles too, so I'm gonna need to add that. I need to make these a little bit more subtle. There you go. I forgot. There we go. Oh, did I accidentally move this around? Oops. Didn't mean to accidentally do that. I don't know how I did when I did that. I am just making up colors for this part. Okay. And I think that's last colored in, so now I need to do Felix. The coloring is definitely the easier part of this to do. Not as complicated, though Felix is a lot more complicated to color in. Oh wait, I forgot something. There you go. Then light Chinese. I do want to keep the string going at the very least until I could get this done. Because I would like to share the final one, so that way the only fish one that I have is not just the fucking what's its face YN. No offense to YN, but I would like other attacks done before then. Yeah, she's looking so pretty. Very excited. it's like little, like a bigger flower and a little flower, and a bigger flower, and a little flower, and I'll put another bigger flower over there. Yeah, just about. I think I also forgot some like freckles and stuff on Felix's face, so we'll go back and do that too. I just want to get this done first. Okay, let's see. Let me look at her face. Yeah, she's got like blushies, and then she's got like golden freckles. So I would very much like to put those on her face. Okay, and I just need to do that like yellow trim on the skirts, and then we should be on to shading. Whoops, I should lock that. No wonder I am having trouble. Using the brush with no stabilizer. There we go. They are so cute. Oh, I love how this is coming out. Look how cute they are. Ah, okay, I'm gonna say this. Neck hurts a little bit. Take a little stretch. Okie dokie. Okay, let's let us do some shading. Actually, you know what? I don't think I'm gonna do that with it, but I will do this instead. So that way the necklaces and stuff do have like a shadow, but it's not gonna look weird. There we go. So I got a lot to say. I'm tired. Eepy. I'm just enjoying the jams and the drawing. But this one's coming out good. Very much liking it. I think I am gonna go ahead, not now obviously, but when this one's done, make this the last one I work on stream today. I do want to do more art fight streams. I do want to do a lot more art fight streams for this. Because one, art fight is fun. I just have to plan it out ahead of time and you know, get motivated to do it. I get stuff that comes on. I'm also job hunting right now, so It's a little hard for me to start a stream while I am job hunting, because whenever I'm like, I want to stream, I'm like, oh, but I got a job hunt. That's like more important, which yeah, is more important. But I want to do more streaming. I can't make that big YouTube bank if I'm not like a hardcore game streamer. Even though we're not streaming video games, we're streaming art. My channel ain't monetized yet either, so it's close. I just need the I need a hourly video watch thing, which is a pain in the butt to get. But once I do, then I can make money off of YouTube's. So you, listener, viewer, whatever, go and watch all my videos. Go watch every single one, so we can make the mark to monetize this channel. Even the bad ones, especially the bad ones. The bad videos, I mean. This channel is fucking old. Like, this was my YouTube channel since I was like in high school. I got like high school videos on here still. I'm one of those people who hates having like a million accounts for things. Like, I tried it before and I just didn't like it. So this YouTube channel has got everything. It's got the arts, it's got the animations, it's got the story times, it's got the video games. It has it all. All for you to watch and enjoy at your leisure. So if you want hours upon hours upon hours upon hours upon hours upon hours upon hours of content, go watch every single video. Make it a challenge. I challenge you to watch all my videos, so this channel can make $5. Well, I got Felix shaded, so now I gotta shade Laz. Laz, my beloved. Oh shit. Oh no. My phone. Using my phone to monitor my chat and I just pulled it off. I need a better stand for that, but that's okay. What I got works so far. Okie dokie, shading's done. There we go. I like that for the shadow color. Woo! And now for the other color. Oh wait, oh, I forgot her, I forgot some of these. How's everybody doing? Finishing up your first, maybe second or third art fight attack? This is gonna be my second one. Now I just got these highlights. Woo! I don't think I'm gonna try that like dark outline around the shadows thing for this one. Just because this one has already been taking me too long. And also because like I just don't really feel like it. Maybe I'll try it and practice this some more on like more simpler ones that aren't gonna take me like at this point 2.5 hours to do. I was not expecting a whole stream to take me a whole the whole stream to do like one attack. I mean, granted, I did do the YN one first, so I shared a server with friends, and one of them was like, "You drew YN?" And I'm like, "Yeah. She's beauty, she's grace. She'll be in your face." Her twin was conjoined with her at the top of her head. Listen, you can't tell me that the wee piss YN creator is gonna be on our fight and not expect me to draw a YN. Come on. Just got jump scared by Adobe. They're like, "Baby girl, come back to us, please. We know this isn't you." And I'm like, shut up. I do not like Adobe. I had a subscription for school because my school didn't give us Adobe stuff for free. They used to, but then they stopped. But I canceled my subscription when I graduated, so I don't even have it anymore. Yep, this looks about right. Yeah, this fits. Oh my gosh, and they are done. Just need to do this. Why is this having trouble loading it? Come on, there we go. Perfect, and then I need to sign it. There we go. Okay. Gonna save this really quick. Okay, I am going to leave this stream here. I am tired. I would like to go eat. If there's food, I don't know if there's food. I will look for food if I have to. But I am going to get off of this right now to go do that. So it was great to see you all. Have a good one. Bye!